Glad to be with Executive Director Brian Lagarde to announce the arraignment of a violent perpetrator who committed a brazen mid-city roadway shooting this past September. And we filed a bill of information charging that defendant with 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder, 1 count of assault by drive-by shooting, and 1 count of illegally carrying a weapon in connection with that incident. I can't say enough about the work of Project NOLA. Their collaboration with law enforcement, their collaboration with all agencies that are trying to get us out of this crime surge are helping make New Orleans safer by using resources that we already have in place. Their extensive crime camera network captured many of the events and moments that led up to the shooting. And that information has proved essential and has provided quite amazing evidence for arrest and prosecution of this particular individual. Their assistance bolstered law enforcement efforts to identify who that suspect was, and they helped provide a much clearer picture about the facts and circumstances that led up to that shooting. This technology is a game changer, and the people of the city of New Orleans are looking for every single game changer they can have in this fight against violent crime. The high quality video stills and videos and other pertinent information will be essential in fighting back to this crime surge. And so I want to say this before I pitch it over to Brian. I am specifically speaking to all residents, all business owners. Please invest in security cameras. If you are a business that has security cameras, please invest in the maintenance and upkeep and recording mechanisms of those security systems. They have the potential to make a huge difference in the work that we're doing over in criminal court to hold violent offenders accountable. These systems are something called force multipliers. I know a number of the reporters in here today have talked about our beleaguered police department, the fact that we don't have enough women and men on the streets to respond to calls for service. Having cameras on your front door, side door, every part of your business, these are tools that expand the eyes and reach of police officers and of ADAs. These systems are just simply force multipliers, meaning however many police officers we have, this is like expanding the police force using technology. There are things that all of us can do to reclaim our communities. And we need to send a very clear message to those who intend to cause harm and those who have caused harm. We often hear folks, whether they be businesses or residents, say, what can I do to help? How can I get involved in this fight? Well, this is one of the things that you can do to help us and help the police department surge back. These are specific and strategic ways that residents and business owners can get in the fight without putting themselves in harm's way or needing any sort of specialized or specific trainings or certifications. The goal here today is to help people empower themselves to get involved in this crime fight. We all have a choice to support bad actors or to get in the fight against bad actors. There are several cost-effective security measures available to almost anyone, whether you are a renter, or whether you own your home, or whether you are a business. We have compiled a list of all commercially available options that are out there, from the Ring doorbell to the Nest doorbell to things that are a bit more high-tech, like what Project NOLA can set up for you at your home or at your business. These devices and systems are vitally important. We will make a full list and the prices and and the necessary specifics for installation. We're going to include all that on our social media and on our website so that you can check that out. I've said it before and I will say it again. Increasing safety in our city and turning the tide on violence truly requires all of us. All hands on deck. It requires us working together strategically, identifying innovative ways to address an unprecedented problem. This is a group lift. And this is one of the ways that people who don't see a way in for them to help, this is a way for everybody to pitch in. Together, we can and we will end this crime surge. And with that, I want to turn it over to the director of Project NOLA to talk a little bit about what he has been doing and what he can do to help you get in this crime fight with us.
Thank you, Jason. It is a great honor and privilege to be able to help in this capacity. Project NOLA, no worries.
Thank you.
For the past decade, Project NOLA has operated what has since become the National Real-Time Crime Center, which is located at the University of New Orleans. We help people. We actually buy the cameras for them, put cameras in their homes, businesses, churches, schools. The cameras are able to transmit to us as well as to local law enforcement in different areas. The cameras have truly been a game changer, as we've seen over the years. It's not just when a camera actually captures something on video, the actual incident. It's also what happens before, what happens after. It also goes to showing the person's state of mind sometimes when they did things. Someone kills someone, they walk away and they're laughing, drinking a cold drink. Obviously that's not going to work in their favor later when it goes to trial. Sometimes we see just the opposite, where it involves a juvenile. They're very contrite and their shoulders are shrugged, and you see that they were very apprehensive what they did. That's a child in need. Juvenile at risk is part of what we do, is to help break the cycle of violence by helping the juveniles at risk. But the large thing is there are things that people can do to help with the crime problem that we're stricken with today in New Orleans area. It's easy, whether it be calling Project NOLA or getting a camera from somewhere else, it doesn't make a difference. That camera can be very important to police investigation and to the prosecution to actually show who did what in their state of mind. In the case of Jarrell Freeman's, we did not have a camera at the actual crime scene. The detective was able to backtrace that person's movements to a cluster of cameras that we do have, and the rest is history, where we captured extraordinarily good video of the subject with the perpetrator vehicle, with the weapons that they were going to use minutes later in the commission of a double shooting. So again, please, anything that people can do to host a camera, whether it be through Project NOLA or somewhere else, please do it. It's absolutely a game changer, and it helps.
Curtis, if there's any questions, we'll take some.
We'll start with there, Shane.
I'm not going to get into all the details of the case because we were able to make an arrest. We were able to identify where he was right before it happened and how it happened. But we still have to prove that case in court. And so I don't want to go. I can't say too much about a case that is still open. When that case is closed, I will be glad to go into all those details. What I will tell you though is oftentimes, like Brian said, it's not about always seeing shots fired. It's about the layering impact. In a case, someone could say, oh, I was nowhere in New Orleans East when this crime occurred, as they said in the trial I was trying 2 weeks ago. They were saying they were nowhere close to it, but we were able to use cell phone site towers to ping and show where their phones were pinging. That's how technology can help us in trials. Now, in that same case, there were cameras at a gas station that could have told us a lot about what occurred. Problem is those cameras hadn't been maintained and those cameras weren't operational. And so what I'm encouraging folks to do, if you as a business owner have invested in that technology, go the extra mile and make sure they're on, make sure they're recording. And if you can, if you can invest in a camera that's linked to the Real-Time Camera Center or a link to Project NOLA, then what you're talking about is taking one device that's filming one thing and making a part of an entire network that we can use to solve crime and to bring prosecutions.
Okay. One of the jury trials have been suspended. We don't know about this. Just give us an update on it, and then also what comes next.
So we're hoping that the courts very quickly address the issues that exist with regards to not sending out subpoenas or jury summonses to everyone who needs a jury summons. That has to be corrected. We were hoping it could be corrected in less time than a month because we have cases that were set for trial. My focus and the focus of my entire office right now is working with the victims and witnesses who were prepared to come to court this week and next month for cases that they were either helping us with or for their own cases. And so we're just trying to make sure that they have the supports they need for what will certainly be a delay that they were not expecting.
And then finally, any response to Mayor LaToya Kentrell's comments about you on Face the Nation? She pretty much talked a lot about the PA needing to be accountable, pretty much prosecuted and folks in jail. So just your reaction to it. I'm not sure if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. I was watching it. It was very disappointing. It was disappointing because we're at a critical moment in this city's history. And we need every elected leader working strategically and collaboratively to get us out of this crisis. And if Tulane's football team was pointing fingers on the sidelines, I can guarantee you they would not have had the season that they had. When you're in a war, and believe me, every resident in this city realizes that we're in a war for this city, to maintain it, to be able to live here, to be able to get gas at night. And I'm thankful that the mayor finally has realized that we are the murder capital of this country. It took her a while to get there, but now we need her to get in this fight with everyone else who is working on it so that we're working together. This is a group lift. There's no time to point a finger. All hands need to be on deck addressing this crisis. And the data is clear. The data is clear that this office has tried more cases than were tried in the full non-pandemic years prior to the shutdown. And now we're facing another shutdown for another reason. We just need to focus on getting ourselves out of this. We need to also have the folks outside of law enforcement. I mean, the police chief, I meet with her on a regular basis, and she is laser focused on holding every one of her officers to task to make sure they're doing what they can do. And I greatly appreciate that she's working on report writing, response times, real strategy. And believe me, that's already paying off. But the folks outside of law enforcement, we need to invest in our young people before shots are fired. We need to invest in people before they do desperate things. Driving down Claiborne Avenue right now, you can see mattress. It's like Tent City. People are in dire straits, and we had $60 million come down from the federal government. It needs to get to people before they find themselves in dire straits making bad decisions. So I saw that on Face the Nation, and I saw it as a missed opportunity for the city.
Paul, Jason, just to follow up on the policy and trials, was the district attorney's office aware that there was a checkoff box on the jury questionnaires for convicted felons? Do you believe that convicted felons should be able to serve on the jury? And I have a follow-up.
So number one, it's the law. The law was changed statewide, and we have to follow the law. Number two, this office is focused on our roles and our responsibilities across the street, and that is not sending out jury summons. And so I was not aware of what was being sent out. Now that I've been made aware of it, we are hopeful that that can be corrected quickly and that we can get back to work at Tulane and Broad faster than 1 month or a month and a half's time.
And the follow-up is, do you believe that this oversight, if you will impact the convictions that this office is getting since the law was to go into effect and wasn't processed here in Orleans? Some people pointing to maybe the conviction of the Young Greatness conviction that you guys, the murder of Young Greatness, may be set aside, and other high-profile cases set aside because the court system was not following the law.
So I tried that case personally last week, and it was an uphill battle because, you know, cases grew very stale during the course of the pandemic and the shutdown. So I'm hoping that this gets corrected, and I'm really hopeful that it does not affect convictions with regards to the trial last week and any trials that we've been trying since March. We've been doing a lot of work to dig this city, dig this system out of the backlog created by the pandemic. But the fact that you brought up the Young Greatness trial, and I'm glad it's being called that and we're not using the defendant's name, because we should remember Theodore Jones, not the quote-unquote friend of his who took his life for greed. In that case, and I tried it personally, we used real-time crime center footage to track down the license plate of the shooter's girlfriend's vehicle. We used a Ring doorbell to show them switching cars after they murdered him, right? We used the Waffle House camera footage, and it actually caught pieces of the crime, and those types of evidence, that's what brings strong convictions that stand the test of time. So I'm hopeful that conviction and every other conviction we've gotten since March will stand.
Are you aware that defense attorneys are using that as a point of appeal for trials that have been adjudicated so far?
I understand that to be so.
Thank you, Paul. Jillian?
Correct. No, I don't remember exactly what date the arraignment was, but it wasn't today. It wasn't this morning. Certainly. So, although the footage didn't capture shots fired or someone being hit, what it captured was a brazen setup for this ambush. People holding the firearms that were used. And it also shows certain individuals in close proximity to where this thing occurred, right? So it was an excellent tool to identify who did it, and it's going to be an excellent tool for us in court.
Hi, I know you said you weren't aware of the jurors with people with felony convictions, but do you believe that's something that attorneys on either side look at when they review who's on the jury? And then two, I know you had said you had hoped it wasn't March where you all would return to jury trials. Are you afraid that justice will be delayed for victims in the meantime?
I mean, any time a case is pushed back, it's very difficult for a victim. When you become a victim, you don't ask to be a part of the criminal legal system. And so many of the victims and witnesses that we've been dealing with since I took office have been waiting because Orleans Parish suspended jury trials longer than any other parish in the state. And I understand the social distancing requirements from COVID-19, but you know, when you are prepared to have your day in court, a lot of people talk about the defendant having his day in court, but if you've been harmed by a violent offender, you want a resolution too. and you deserve to get to that resolution. And to your earlier question, you know, we look at everything during jury selection, right? And a person's offender status, whether they have a conviction or not, the state has decided that no longer should be a bar to being able to be called for jury service. And so it is important that be corrected, but I think it just needs to be corrected quickly. We need to get back to the business of handling cases at Tulane and Broad.
Jerome Friedman, was his bond set at that arraignment? Do you know his bond was?
I don't remember the exact bond, but he's still in custody.
Okay. And for Project NOLA, how many cameras right now do you have in the city of New Orleans? Can you tell us that? And you guys purchased the cameras? How does it work for people who want to sign up?
So over the course of the past 12 years, we've placed roughly 5,000 cameras around the city of New Orleans. The way that we've operated since we moved to the University of New Orleans in 2016 is we actually purchase the camera equipment for people. They're given a choice of what camera is going to be best for their particular home, business, church, or school. And then from there, they can use any contractor that's licensed in the state of Louisiana to install the cameras for them. And they just pay a little bit, which it costs us to receive and record the camera feeds. We refer to it as a cloud fee. It can be as little as $15 a month.
They have access to that video?
Those who host the cameras can actually see their camera or cameras. If a person has multiple locations, like a business owner, they're able to see their different businesses, just those cameras that they're hosting with us.
I mean, it's very cost effective. And when you, and it can apply to renters as well as,
Absolutely.
I mean, I know we have a huge renting population here in the city, and a lot of times folks feel like that's not something they can put on the property, but they absolutely can. And it, you know, socioeconomic status doesn't matter, neighborhood status doesn't matter. These are excellent tools, and you know, Project NOLA's been around for a while. The Real-Time Camera Center has been around for a while. But what we have to do now is we've got to ramp up in a way and use this technology in a way that we never have had before to make arrests and make convictions.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.